So anyway, we got a pack of practitioners now that uh, just our presence, just what we've already done is so amazing. The years of meditation, the months, and even, and it's shining. This light is shining in the face of a lot of stuff going on out there in the world. So I appreciate you for that. I've lost a lot of friends along the way, and I'm sure you have too. And I feel like we're here doing the right thing, with our lives, with our blessings. Yes, so very, very thankful for all the friends that are here. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. So we're going to get right into this text again. Man, it's always packed with these primary sources, which is awesome. If you're interested in the history of all this, then you'll see these tantras, these sutras, these great masters are being quoted, and you're not going to hear these in many other places, or you'll hear them in certain translations, like the Great Garuda. I think Keith Dowman translated that one, and so you're getting his translation style. Here you're getting all kinds of primary sources, and on top of that, you're getting Longchenpa's commentary, which is pretty awesome, if you ask me. All right, so I'll just jump into it. This is the way of abiding. It's a Dzogchen text. Dzogchen is the highest and most simple meditation of Buddha Dharma, of Dharma in general. And this text is really a definitive truth that outlines in many ways the way of abiding. And this is how you can be all day, all night. You can start to come into the view. Maybe at first I was also a little skeptical how you can rest in this view day and night and be very happy and satisfied, but it's such a beautiful place to come into your own refuge, your own awareness. So it says here, the all illuminating sphere states, the supreme bliss that I have revealed, naturally occurring and non dual, is free of limitations, of whether or not there is something on which to meditate. In realizing the ultimate meaning of self knowing awareness, imbued with the power of sublime knowing, there is complete purity beyond any idea of whether or not this is meditation. Non dual supreme bliss abides within one's own natural state. Resting without effort ensures that one does not unite with and then separate from it. In being uninterrupted, it is similar to the river Ganges. I reveal this benefit, I reveal this to benefit those of the very highest acumen. Okay, so go back up a little bit there. Resting without effort ensures that one does not unite with and then separates from it. So even if you're taking a walk, if you're speaking to people, um, whatever you're up to, you can leave it be. There's a kind of paradox there because you've discovered awareness. Now, you can't really leave it be if you haven't discovered awareness because you're in it. And it's like you've shaken up one of those snow globes and you have to set it down for everything to settle. This is pretty logical, right? But if you're always doing something, your mind is always preoccupied, then you're always shaking your experience up, your nervous system, even your bones, your muscles, your mind, your emotions are getting shaken up. And so when we talk about resting without effort, it's putting the snow globe down. Even if you're doing something like cooking, uh, reading, anything, any activity can be within the view. So there is no uniting and then separating. Okay, so we can move on here. So within the discovery of natural meditative stability, shamatha, the absence of error or obscuration is one of the implications that can be discerned. Okay, I should point out that there's a difference between sutra shamatha, which you'll find in standard mindfulness stuff, and what you find in Dzogchen. Anybody want to describe shamatha and Dzogchen, what that entails? So shamatha and sutra means you're staying with the breath. Ah, yes, Gangshar got it. Stability and awareness. Very good, Dorje. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So in sutra, you're resting with your breath. And if you get distracted from your breath, you come back to it gently. And this stabilizes your mind. And the only problem in sutra is they're presenting it like you're creating stabilization. Like I said in the last session, you're not creating stabilization. You're allowing your habit of distraction to go away. If you're distracted a lot, that's a habit. And that's patterned, karmic patterning. And so by staying with the breath, that pattern starts to dissolve. But in Dzogchen, you're not staying with the breath, are you? You're staying with awareness. That's your object of meditation, so to speak. And so you stabilize in awareness, then naturally, vipassana, your insight is coming from that stabilizing in awareness. Making sense, everybody? Okay. Very good. So yeah, shamatha and vipassana are always united. It's good to approach it like that. So yeah, with the discovery of natural meditative stability, and the root verses say here, the nature of phenomenon at rest, just as it is similar to space. So in that regard, it's volumetric. All right, it's hard to imagine that when you're constantly kind of locating your mind behind your eyes or in your brain. And that's why this brain-centric philosophy, because there's not much proof for it, it's essentially a belief system that people believe that mind comes from the brain. It's the average person believes that, even though they have no proof for it. And there's very little proof, anyways, that mind comes from the brain. So you don't have to reside behind your eyes. You can actually bring your awareness above your head and notice that you can mingle your mind with space. Yeah, and now you're not in your emotions. Your emotions are in your awareness. So you've shifted the position, almost like a 180 you've done there. So where you normally you'd be stuck in your experience, no way out. So people even end their lives. You see, that's how serious this is. That's why we should take it with sincerity. If you've discovered a way out, if you've discovered this awareness or connected to it, that is your refuge. Okay? And anyone can do that. It's not limited by age or past experience. In fact, if you trust the guides, the mentors, then it's going to be even faster for you, right? That was a quick pointing out. Yeah, I'm sneaking it in there more and more now, just in case. You never know. But I'm glad to see that it's benefiting. That's wonderful. So yeah, similar to space, and always remember that when you're feeling stuck or contracted into your experience, that come back to space like awareness. So the root verses will continue here and say, since there is no transition or change, there's no question of whether or not there's distraction. The immensity of sublime basic space, which does not form and then disintegrate, is not within the range of finite experience that can be characterized by words. Ah, you see, we have to acknowledge the limitation of words, and we have to acknowledge the fact that we're dealing with something beyond words and thinking. So if you're constantly trying to figure this out with the intellect, let that go. That's a trust issue. Many online Dzogchenpas are having this issue that they're only intellectualizing the path because they can't seem to trust a teacher or trust whatever. That you can have a 20-word vocabulary and still realize the nature of mind. Mhm. Your IQ can be -5, and you can still recognize the nature of mind. All right. So those immersed in genuine being, for whom naturally arising awareness wells forth as the expanse of sublime knowing, whose minds are not pedantic, even though they have heard many teachings, and who experience what is indescribable and beyond imagination, decide that this is not a matter of anything being characterized or not. I want to say page 113 or 112 in this 2008 edition. Maybe I'll remember that because this is one of my favorite passages of the root verses. All right. It's a long sentence, but it's so beautiful. It says here, those immersed in genuine being. That's our 10 minutes, right? That's what you're doing now. You're just relaxing here. I'm speaking to you from genuine being. Pretty much. I don't seem to have too much going on, right? And maybe I do in the depths of my body and my consciousness have some knots or whatever, but basically I'm relaxed and I'm just speaking to you from a genuine being. But here it says, awareness wells forth. I really like that Chokinima translation he chose there because this is what happens. If you've just been introduced to awareness, don't worry. It's going to well forth. The more you trust, the more you release into it. So it may be in the background right now, and your patterns may be in the forefront. But don't worry, the 180 is coming. The more you warm up to awareness, it's going to well forth as the expanse of sublime knowing. That means you're going to be resting in your wisdom mind, just like the Buddhas. Lucky you, lucky us, for real. We have access to our wisdom mind through these powerful lineages and teachings, and those who have preserved them. But it says, we don't get too pedantic. We don't get too crazy about all the details of the intellect. And so we don't get hiccups. There are intellectual hiccups that are caused in many practitioners. Uh, for a whole month, you could be stuck, or even a year or two, you could be stuck because somebody told you online that Rigpa is not called awareness. Let's say you went online to talk about Rigpa and you called it awareness, and then somebody said, no, 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 Rigpa's not awareness. And then that bug gets stuck in your head for a long time, you see? That's why getting hung up on these details versus your view versus awareness itself. If you had awareness itself, somebody could tell you all day long that awareness isn't Rigpa, and you wouldn't care because you know what Rigpa is. Nobody could ever shake your confidence because you've been there, right? If you've been to the moon, nobody can tell you what the moon looks like. So, and there are people out there that are, excuse me, adamant about that. They do not want to call this thing awareness, but that's how we access it. And I've been over that point several times. So here it says the experience which is indescribable and beyond imagination decide that this is not a matter of anything being characterized or not. Very good. And since neither meditation nor anything on which to meditate can be found, there is no need to slay the foes of lethargy and agitation. Lethargy and agitation, yes, you may find those in your meditations, right? When you're doing your 10 minutes, you may find yourself getting sluggish. That's because you're following a thought into sleepiness. Your body thinks it's time to go Betty bye. Or you're going into the future too much. You get agitated and start thinking about what I gotta do later and all this stuff, and you start to get agitated like that. Okay. So, and there's no need to slay those foes. You can just let it be. If you're feeling a little tired, it's possible to rest that in awareness, and you will wake up like you just drank coffee. Except even better, it's not such a head rush. It's a full wakefulness that's here. Okay, so the auto commentary says one immersed in genuine being who perceives that awareness does not waver from its natural state of rest and who abides therein thus discovers natural meditative stability. At that point, the mind is not held within a specific frame of reference. Anything that arises does so without straying from meditative stability as the natural state of rest. Then, with the arising comes lucid consciousness. With mind abiding, meditative absorption is discovered. And that means all day long, everybody, that you're in a kind of absorption. And I don't know about you, but for me, it was a little weird at first. You're kind of in this luminous state, and people at the store are talking to you, and it can get a little strange, But it's all good. It's all good vibes, through and through. But don't be scared to let yourself change, and let your Buddhahood shine. So, thus, calm abiding and profound insight, shamatha and vipassana, are united, and there is natural purity, without errors or obscurations, and meditative stability. Lethargy, agitation, and so forth, having to be abandoned. Okay, wait. So it says without any of this stuff needing to be abandoned. Okay, very good. This discovery of natural meditative stability is not a matter of knowledge that relies on words or conventional labels, on hearing or explaining. Those who realize and remain united with this may be those who have undergone thorough training in previous lifetimes, and for whom in this life an expanse of sublime knowing wells forth to encompass the definitive meaning of the teachings. Yeah, I'm going to read that sentence again. Um, this really explains too. I just want to say sincerely, like when I see you all here, this is the exact vibe I get. That I'm with Buddhas, I'm with practitioners. You all have been practitioners, um, to me, and I know that sounds a little woo woo, but that's why it feels so special being around you all, and why I praise you for your practice the way I do. It says here, the discovery of natural meditative stability. Oh, excuse me. Yes, those who realize and remain united with this may be those who have undergone thorough training in previous lifetimes, and for whom in this lifetime the expanse of sublime knowing wells forth to encompass the definitive meaning of the teachings. Yeah, that's what's happening right there to a lot of you. This truth, this profound, universal, ultimate truth, is welling forth in you. Yeah, it's so amazing. I could die tomorrow and be happy. So he also says they may be those who, through the blessings of a guru, have been directly introduced to unobstructed awareness. They may be those who have thoroughly completed the process of hearing teachings on the ultimate heart essence. They may be those whose minds are inherently at ease and rest naturally. However, this is not the province of anyone else. Isn't that right? It's like people either warm up to Dzogchen or they're just kind of like, no thanks. No, it's not for them. But those who do warm up to it, holy crap. Real time yogis, real yogis. Okay, so we'll pick it up next time at deep immersion and awareness. I'm loving these citations, everybody. I mean, you just don't get this stuff in other books. Well, Dzogchen by the Dalai Lama, if you really want to read a Dzogchen book and you have some time on your hands, that one has a lot of great citations too. And it's typical of the teachers to present it like this with lots of citations. That's how we know they're not inventing their own thing, right? And that's why I like to always have text here in the group, because you don't have me just inventing some path for you. We're actually hinging on thousands of years of science and practitioners here. Yeah, so it is pretty awesome. Okay, so that is the end of the show. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you so much. And are there any comments, questions, anything before we go? Yes, thank you too. Very good. All right. So we'll just take a moment of silence to dedicate any good that we've created. Okay, deep bow to you, my friends. As they say in ancient India, peace out.